Hello, hello, it's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. It's Friday Sews. I'm Stephanie. Welcome to my sewing room and welcome to Friday Sews. A little bit of sewing, a little bit of life. Hashtag Friday Sews. Okay, so let's just get started with some sewing. I wore my Easter dress and that was Simplicity 2917. Super happy with it. I made it with some really fun fabric, and let me just show you a picture of our family and me wearing my Easter dress. Okay, here's the problem. Let me show you last year's Easter dress. It's pretty much the same. I don't want to keep sewing the same things over and over. Totally different pattern, totally different fabric, yet it looks pretty much the same. I even wore it with the same sweater. So I started thinking, I was working on this Simplicity 8875, and I talked about this last week, making it out of this linen blend. And as I was making it, I was like, I was going to cut it to D. And aside from the little sleeves, it was pretty much going to have that same feel, that same shape that all my dresses have. So I put the ruffle on it, the ruffle on the bottom. I didn't follow the pattern because the pattern has it coming up in the front, and it was a last minute thought. I had some leftover fabric, so I just made it go all the way around. And this is the result. What do you think? Well, you can't really tell. So I need to try it on for you. Okay, so it looks good. It's different. I like that it's long and lean in the torso because that's where I carry my weight. And so I don't want it to be ballooning out at that place because it just makes it look even bigger. So I like the shape of the dress. I like the fisheye darts in the front. I had a little poof right here. I had it in the other dress too, the silky dress that I didn't like. Let me show you a picture. It poofed right here, and so I need to take in my pattern piece. It's on the fold right here, just a tiny bit. So I made a little seam there, a little dart, and it's pretty much an inch. So I need to just trim my pattern off if I decide to make this again, and I might. I just haven't decided yet. I want to wear this first. I did the invisible zipper based on a video. Let me put a link to that. And she has you doing a little interfacing. Well, I don't like that. I don't like the way it looks. Do I need that? What do you think? Because look, the inside of my garment doesn't look as good because of that. I did serge all my pattern pieces before I made this dress, and so far I'm really happy with that. It turned out good. My facings turned out good. My V, I had to do it a couple times, but it did come out good. My little point, all my lines. Okay, on my zipper. I did a beautiful zipper, only to find that right here where this bodice goes across, it didn't match up. Let me show you. I don't want that. I knew I was going to be bothered by it, so I took the whole thing out and did it again, and I got it just right. I'm so happy with that. So that was worth the effort. My top is pretty good. It's not exact good color. It's a little bit more pink, but they didn't have this color in my Joann's, so I went with it. All in all, happy with this dress. Looking forward to wearing it. I do not own anything linen that I know of, so I'm looking forward to seeing how I like it. Because of the butterfly sleeves, I feel like I can move. I think that's the key for me with wovens, is it needs to be able to move right here. I don't like that feeling of being trapped. So there you go. There you go. There was a lot of adjusting on this pattern. I can't even tell you. I've made this too many times. I can't even tell you what I've done to it. I don't even know. Oh, okay. Dahlia Sews has a blouse challenge, and I really want to make a blouse for that blouse challenge. So interestingly enough, Blouse showed up on my feed from, I think it's Think Creatively Sewing. I don't know. I love her. She's been great at giving tips. And so I drafted my own blouse, and I'm just going to show it to you on my dressmaker form. And it didn't fit perfect. It was a little tight. maybe it's woven, and so I decided to alter it, and I made another blouse. Let me show you that. It has some bumps in the back. I could wear both of these blouses, no problem, but they're not perfect. If I could have a perfect pattern that fits me, then anytime I have left over of about 1.5 yards is all it takes, and I could just make this blouse. So, not wasting fabric and such. So I want to perfect that blouse. I like that it had darts right here and here because it kind of gives you shape where I don't have shape, but if it brings in here, that helps. So that's just something I'm working on. Now, moving on to that, I want to talk about body types. I may do a video on this because it matters what your shape is, not your size. It's not about size more than it is about shape. And we all are not the same. Now, I have revealed my measurements before, and some of you have said, oh my gosh, very similar to mine. And so we, if you're like me, are apple body types. Apple. I like apples, but I don't want to be shaped like one, but I am. So what that means is wide shoulders, larger in the bust, larger in the torso, in the waist, and slimmer in the hips. So if that's you, then you're probably an apple body type. Here's my measurements. My bust is 45, my waist is 42.5, my ab is 45, and my hips are 46. Now I added in abdomen. It's between the waist and the hips, right there. Now if you're my body type, you might have some excess weight right there, because I do. And so what if my ab is bigger than that pattern thinks it should be, because all they're doing is bust, waist, hips. And maybe they think that just isn't there. And I think that was the problem with that blouse. I think that was the problem with this dress. It's my abdomen is big. And it just is. I want to sew around it. Like I want my clothes to fit me there. So I think that should be one of the measurements. I think you're leaving out something important if you're not putting the abdomen in, because look at this. My abdomen is way bigger than my waist and almost as big as my hips. So if you wait to go out at my hips, you're missing this spot, and it's just going to be tight there. And that blouse was, I'm pointing because it's over there. That blouse was tight right there, right here. So I have this measuring list. There's so many. Every pattern company has a list of measurements. And actually, let me get a regular, right here. Here's Simplicity's measurements. All right, so my bust is 45. So if I look here, there's a bust of 44 and a bust of 46. So I would just probably pick the 46. I'd rather be too big than too little. That puts me at a size 26W. However, their waist is 39. That's not going to fit me. I'm a 42.5. And then you go down to the hips and they're 48, which is too big. I'm 46. And I'll bet you with that 39 waist, that abdomen area is going to be too tight too. So this pattern is never going to fit me. That is fully, look at this. The hip is 9 inches. 39, 48. That's 9 inches difference. I only have, I only have 4 inches difference. And from my ab to my hips, I only have 1 inch difference. So if you look at the formula, we're looking at a 9 inch difference on all of these. Is this the same Simplicity? Yeah, let me get a different. Okay, here's New Look. Do they use the same measurements? No? Okay, so here we go. 22, let's do a 20. 46, oh, goodness gracious. Size 20 is a 42 bust, so I would be a size 22. 44 bust, 37 waist, even smaller, and 46 hips. Okay, Butterick. Let's see what their sizes are. Okay, so I have a 45 bust, so I'm going to say, oh my gosh, this pattern won't even fit me at a size 22. I happen to know that never works out. It always is way too big. So it says a bust of 44, a waist of 37, yikes, and hips of 46, same thing, almost 10 inches. Almost 10 inches in and back out again. So I know that fits some people, but it doesn't fit me. So this is the problem I've been having with making my own pattern. I did not like this size chart. I have downloaded so many size charts, and they're all doing that. They all go boom, boom, boom. Remember in the 60s, they used to say 36, 26, 36. What? Really? No. So I think number one, I always had an apple body. So I was always bigger and slimmer. That's just the way I've always been shaped. And as I've aged, I'm in my 60s, it has shifted around to being even more like what I would call matronly. So more bust. I didn't have this big a bust when I was in my 20s. It's bigger now. And the poochiness was always there, but now it's even more prominent. I want a size chart that's for that, because I think just logically, if you have that waist that goes in, it's easier to have a waist that's too big and take it in than it is to have a waist that's too big and a dress that's too small. You can't fix that. No. So if I made my pattern, my hoodie dress pattern that I want to make, I would like it to be a generous waist. I want any pattern I make to be a generous waist, because it's easier to take in your waist than it is to let one out. It changes the whole dynamic of the dress to go by the waist. If I go by the waist, then everything's too big. And it's so hard to fix. So I have a request. If I could get a really good average for apple body types, I could make a good size chart that I could use for my hoodie dress pattern and give to my guy who makes it. And so if you are fitting that shape, would you consider sending me your measurements? Because if I had 10, I could do an average and I would feel really good about it, rather than just going by my body only. Because we could all be slightly different, right? And I could just get an average. But I want ab too. So bust, waist, abdomen. So just basically between your, if you tie a string around your waist, that's where your waist is. So just between your waist and your hips. So here's my hips right here. See, they're slimmer. And so I would like this measurement right here, this abdomen. Just the widest spot of it. And wouldn't it be cool if a pattern catered to us for a change? Nothing against you gals with a nice waist. We love you and we wish we had one very much. But if my hoodie dress was generous waist, all you'd have to do is take it in a little. How hard would that be? So would you consider sending me your measurements? I know that you probably don't want to put it in public. So if you want to either Facebook, there's a private message in Facebook, just friend me and we'll message, or Instagram, there's a private message there, or you can email me, and it's in my my About Me on YouTube, but it's basically Stephanie Farrell with 2 R's and 2 L's, 123 @gmail. If I could get 10, just 10 people, more is even better, then I would have a size chart for apple body. Wouldn't that be awesome? Maybe we could start a trend. Wouldn't it be great if patterns had body shapes and they let you know? Because when you're shopping, like if you're an A apple body type and you're shopping, you kind of know certain brands are going to fit you better. I know J-Lo jeans will never work for me because she's shaping for wider hips and mine go, ooh. So I like boyfriend jeans and things that are slim fit. Those are the things that always fit me. But even then, they're still tight in the waist. And if I buy pants that fit my waist, they're just too big everywhere else. Okay, that's my rant and my request. This top I'm wearing, I did not make. I didn't used to make so many clothes. Before COVID, I didn't used to make so many clothes, and I was busy. I had a kind of busy out there life. I was always out there. I was hardly ever home. And one of my favorite things was Stitch Fix. And some of you may have found me through Stitch Fix, and so I loved getting them because they really were great at picking clothes most of the time. And so this is a Stitch Fix top, and I kept it on for a reason, because I was thinking, do you get inspired from some of your ready-to-wear clothes? As I put this on, I realized if this is just a kind of a nylon-y feeling, stretchy top. It's not t-shirt knit, but it's very stretchy. Not so much this way, but definitely this way. And if I did not have this cute little detail, this V would be too low to me. So I'm thinking anytime in the future that I get a V that's too low, there's cool things I could do to, this was totally just added after. And the other thing I like about this dress is the sleeves are comfy because it's white, but I like the length of it. Let me just see if I can show you. So it comes down below my, what are we going to call that? Pooch? Comes down below my waist, and in the back it droops down, so it kind of covers my bum. So it's kind of just an overall kind of cute top, not really a tunic, but it's just very flattering. It fits the bust, it slims down. It doesn't hug me right here, but it does flatter the figure. So it's definitely hiding my, look how it would be if it was tight. It's hiding all that, but it's not accentuating it by being voluminous. But it also hides my bum. So I was thinking this is what I would want in a top when I'm making a top. And I really think that I either might try to copy this top or just look for a top that's similar and make it, because I think I could wear this a lot. And I do, actually. Okay, personal life. I'm looking at my list and I just wrote 0. I got nothing. I have nothing to say. I walk around my tulips every day because they go so fast. And we've had a lot of rain. More and more tulips are popping up. I have a statue that my mother-in-law made out of marble. She took a class in Colorado and at a marble quarry and made this beautiful statue. And I knew that it would be mine one day. Everybody wanted it, but I just knew that I was going to make sure it was me, and I did get it. And it has its own little garden that I'm working on growing, and the bench was already there, and I thought this is the perfect place for this statue. And it is a Madonna, and Madonna with a baby, and it's beautiful. So I planted tulips out there, and it's very messy because it's been too rainy to get out there and clean out that area. But let me just show you this little Madonna garden I have going. So I guess that's all I have for personal. I don't even want to talk about the garden. It's just been raining, raining, raining. And thank you, all of you, so much for all the comments, because you've let me off the hook on feeling like I got to get something done, because I'm not in any hurry. I'm not in any hurry. Some people said, you know, after Good Friday, well, it's that. Some people said after Mother's Day. I am in the mountains, so I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry at all. So we've got some sunny days coming up, and I'm just going to plant at my leisure. Let's see what happens. So there's that. And even though I have spring fever and I'm loving spring, I was thinking about it this morning. I live what we called foothills. It feels like mountains. We've got a lot of pine trees. We've got this foresty feel here, but it is still lower elevation, and there's higher elevations. And spring doesn't come to the high Sierras until July. So I'm going to chase spring this year. I'm just going to chase the flowers all the way till July. I'm just going to go look, go look, go look. And I'll bring you along. I'll bring you along. I just want to say thank you so much for stopping by and watching my channel. So appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you in the comments, and we'll chat. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.